Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Talks, and we're back again for another YouTube video. I'm here joined with Vess.
What's up, guys?
So, we're the captains, as you should know, of the Royal Conquerors of DPL Season 7, and we figured we go ahead and make a little hype video, make a little video ranking the rosters and diving a little bit into our opinions on the players, diving into our opinions on the teams that they've drafted so far, and all that. So, I mean, do you just want to go down the list from the family down
Yeah,
to?
yeah, let's just go left to right. Yeah.
All right, you want to name those players off for me?
Yeah, first we got the family coached by I and Rye, and they got Skyhorse, Devin, Sean, Wombo, Henrik, Scrappy, and Roar. So, what I've been hearing throughout the community is that this is probably most people's best team. And I'm going to have to disagree. I think it's a good team, mainly because of the captains. But if I'm looking at the players, Wombo is a huge wild card. Great player, but you have no idea what you're gonna get out of him. And then Skyhorse didn't play last season. Don't really know
That's
what you're gonna get out of him.
that's pricey. That's pricey for that player, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't
Whew.
know, man. I feel like this team could be really good, like everyone's saying, but I can also see it being like middle of the pack. I don't think it's gonna be terrible. Like, there's no way this team is just gonna be like trash. But I'm not really seeing like the top one that I'm hearing a lot of people
All
say.
right. Here's where I'm at. So with your top player, your round one pick, the people like this, they spent the most of their budget on this guy. So you want to take your most consistent player to be your most to like that cost the most. You want a consistent player that comes out with consistent wins. I've seen Skyhorse
Mhm.
play in a couple of tours. Like his past couple of tours, he's gone negative. Like in PWS, I'm pretty sure he went 3-4, and that's a shitter tour. Like you should be farming that. You shouldn't be going 3-4 in PWS, and he was playing the new gen too, and he was getting farmed in a shitter tour. Like nobody's trying in that, you know. So I mean, that's a little
Yeah.
bit of a red flag to me. Obviously, 25K, that's pricey as fuck. I think Hobbita would be a much better. Like he's right next to him. I think Hobbita is way more consistent than he is.
I
Like
agree with you
much
100%.
much safer of a pick.
I think I really like their low tiers. Roar and Henrik specifically. I think those are really good pickups. Henrik, I know he's been taking like a little bit of a backseat on Pokemon, but like last season he performed really well. And then Roar was even a guy we were bidding on, and I think very highly of him. So I think that's a great pickup. But I feel
Um,
like that the top tiers are like kind of hit or miss. So
so Roar, he's good if he plays his games. So like the problem that we had with Roar is he would load up, and if he didn't like the matchup, he would just sub out, and he would only end up playing like 4 games. And we'd try to play him like, and we'd make it to finals, and we would win finals in TDT, but he would only play 4 games throughout the entire season, because
yeah,
we would
Roar.
try to play
Here's
him, and he wouldn't like his matchup, and he would sub out. So I mean,
here's the thing about Roar. I love Roar. Roar's one of my boys, but he's a little bit of a diva. You know, he's got a
yeah.
little diva in him. Like if he's not feeling it, he's gonna let you know. I mean, he's just got a little bit of that in him. I think he's really good, but you could consider him a wild card like Wombo,
I mean, yeah,
honestly.
you're
Like
not
you
risking
know.
a whole lot with only 11K, but
Exactly.
I don't know, dude. I had him in Clash of Kings, and we were looking good all season. We rewrote all the way up to finals, and then he just completely died. On
Yeah.
finals week, he completely died, and we ended up getting smoked in finals because it was like, because me and Roar were carrying in prep and play. I think we had the two best records on the whole team. And whenever he dropped, it was just me. That's 50% of the building gone. It was just me
hmm
against a whole stacked fucking roster, and we ended up getting smoked because of it. So,
Yeah, it really depends like what roar they're getting, you know?
yeah,
So,
like the reliability of Roar, not 100% on that. And then like
mhm.
I feel like they got a bunch of risky picks because Devon's just like
I
Roar.
agree.
Devon has some
Yeah.
scheduling problems, so you might not end up getting all 7 games out of Devon because he just doesn't schedule correctly. You might end up getting 5 max, I think. I would say 5 max for Devon, maybe
Yeah.
6. If they make playoffs, maybe like 6. But
I think if they have enough team support that Devin could be good like they had him last season and they supported him well. But
yeah.
to be fair, like Wombo is not, I don't think he's helping that much. Roar, I don't think he's going to be going super hard. So I don't think their team is quite as active as it was, say, last season when Rye won.
It's nowhere near as good as how good their team was last season. They had the best roster last
Yeah,
season. They
I
had cheap
agree.
Amo,
Yeah.
cheap Devin, cheap all those good steals. But you know, Skyhorse for Devin support wise, I don't really think he's gonna be able to help him much because he's kind of weird. You know, he's a weird builder. I don't think Devin's
I
gonna
mean,
be one to take builds from Skyhorse. You know.
maybe. I think the main thing here is just yet again, I mean the cap core is really good. So I mean if they can carry these players that aren't going to go as hard, I mean they'll definitely have a good record.
Yeah, if II and Rai are able to do better than they did last season record-wise, I can see this team
II was really
succeeding.
good. He was 6-1.
Yeah,
Rye was
I
like
if he can
500, I
maintain
think.
that.
So,
But yeah, Rai went like around even, which isn't
yeah,
terrible, but it's not what you want
right.
to see. And then Sean, I think that's decent, 22.5, maybe a little over,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
decent.
there's really nothing to say about Sean. Like he's just a good player. I mean, that's about where I thought he'd go. I don't really have any like questions about him.
Sean's one of those guys where whenever you pick him up, you know you're getting a consistent, like maybe slightly
Mm,
positive player. I feel like
100%, yeah.
I don't know, I don't
I
really
feel like
know what his
that's
tier
their
is,
that's
but
my favorite pick for them personally.
yeah, I
Uh,
think depending on how good Wombo and Roar turn out, because they spent 26K on those two, and those are two
mhm.
massive gambles. So, at
Yeah.
least, I think at least if one of them pays out big time, then the team can succeed. But they need one of them to really, really turn up and start going crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah. And we'll be ranking all the teams at the end, probably, like playoff predictions, but we can probably move on now if you want to get into the
Yeah,
next one.
alright, so next we got L2P, captained by iPro and Kaz, and they got Habada, Rob Jr., Amukamara, Zugubu Royale, Elodin, Itzia, Roy, Dadadu, Obi, and Specs King. So what do you think about this roster?
Okay, so iPro and Kaz is a good captain core. I don't think it's quite as good as, like I and Rye, but it's definitely up there with some of the better ones. And as you said earlier, I think Habida for 24 and a half, considering some of the other pays, like I think he's better than definitely better than Skyhorse. Um, I think Rob Jr. is a little bit weird because individually he's a really great player, but he's not known to be like super active and going super hard trying to help people out. So I'm not sure if that'll pan out really well. I think he'll have a good record, but I'm not sure if it'll overall contribute to like team success. Um, Liam or Amukamara, I know Kaz really likes him. He's a good player. I'm pretty sure he's from Smogon. Same with Zugubu. And then the bottom half, Itzy can only play 2 games. I think if they make playoffs, that's a good pickup because I think Itzia, when he's going hard, is a good player. I don't know that guy, that Roi Dada.
Probably
Uh,
some
Abi,
Smogon guy.
Abi's the goat. Made our logo. Shout out to you. That's all I gotta say. Specs King, yeah, he's fine. I mean,
For 5K, yeah, I guess.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's fine.
So the first thing,
But
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Or you can finish. You can finish off.
no, no, go ahead. I'm good.
All right, so the first, I agree with you. Like, I think this team's gonna be pretty dead. Habita, he's not really that
Yeah,
active. He'll mock everybody, but he won't help you. He's just gonna do his own
right.
games. He's gonna mock everybody. No team support there. Rob Jr. I mean, he's been my captain. Zero team support whatsoever.
Same.
Yeah, he's been our captain. Zero team
Yeah,
support whatsoever. He's kind of dead in drafting too. He wasn't really that great.
yeah.
Maybe he's turning up. If he has a good record, that's a good pick. But
He,
eh.
I was in the TGM server last season for playoffs. He was definitely more active, but I feel like I don't know, this might be like taking a shot, but I feel like his activity is based on how well he's doing. I feel like if
Yeah,
he's not doing well, he's just not going to care
I feel like if he
as
loses
much.
week one, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, if he loses a game or two, I feel like his activity and like dedication to winning is just going to drop off a little bit. But I still really like him. I think I don't know, but that's just from my experience. That's what happened to me.
I
So,
think for the second or like the third most expensive player in this pool, that's not who I would choose, but I can see why they picked him. It's a little bit of a gamble.
yeah, I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Amukamara, they had a success with him in a previous season, I believe, like season 4 or season 5.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
But
it was a few.
after that, Amukamara went on to play in TDT, and he like completely canceled the team, and he went for like 40K. So that's a bit of a red flag. you know that
I
their
don't
team
think that'll
just
happen to be
their
fair,
team
but yeah.
fell off the face of the earth. But yeah, as long as he doesn't do some shit like that, then that's fine. Zugaboo, he'll go like maybe slightly negative, maybe positive. He's always like one of those kind of players. I don't know who
Yeah,
Eldon is. Yeah,
I feel like what you said is true though. I feel like this team is just super dead.
yeah, it's dead
I
as
feel
shit.
like if Seidel and Kaz aren't like going super hard,
Or
I feel like they're
Itzia.
not getting or Itzia, sure, which I definitely don't think Itzia's going super hard.
Yeah.
I think I can't see them like having so much activity. I've heard Seidel is pretty active, but that's about it. So that's a little concerning, but I think on an individual basis, like they definitely have some players that can win.
I mean, Itzia is actually really good prep support if he's active. The thing is he's
Hmm.
restricted to 2 games, and I feel,
Yeah.
personally, I think it's harder to engage with the team whenever you can't be playing. It's like it's harder to get
Yeah,
in there.
it's hard to get motivated when you
Yeah,
know you're not going to be playing. Yeah.
and then Obi and Specs King. I don't know how good their support is, to be honest. I don't think it's
I feel
anything
like
crazy.
Specs King might be playing on this team, right? I mean, it'd be iPro, Kaz, Habita, Rob, Amukamara, Zugubu, and then probably
Specky,
Specky, right? I
yeah,
mean,
probably
yeah,
not the most powerful roster, but yeah.
it's not terrible. I feel like if you throw the lower tiers, I don't know, man. If they,
It all
I don't know.
depends on how hard the captains can carry activity wise. Because
Yeah,
Hobbit and Rob are not going to help anybody. you know, like there's a bunch of
yeah,
Smogon guys that are going to need prep help, so it's all on Kaz and iPro. There's nobody else that can
yeah.
help there.
They have a lot of pressure
They have
on
a
them
lot
for
of
sure.
weight on their shoulders for this team. I don't think. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe they're confident in themselves, but I think they
To be
went for
fair,
a little bit of
I
a
think a
risky route.
strategy they could go for is kind of like letting Hab and Rob cook and just like completely helping the other guys, you know?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think that would save them some time at least, that's for sure. So they don't have to be going super hard for all 7 games.
That team is up in the air for me. I don't really know
Yeah,
where I'm gonna
it's
put them
really
yet.
hard to rank, bro. It's really hard to rank that team.
It's weird. It's close though with the family, I think, because both of them have their
Um,
downsides.
eh,
Like both are
I
really
think
risky.
I think the family's better,
Because you're
but
comparing a
yeah.
bunch of Smogon guys to Wombo Roar, so and Devin and all that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think the family's definitely better in my opinion.
that's fair. All right, let's move
Yeah.
on to the Hisui and Offseers. Do you want to name those off for me?
Yeah, sure. So they got the captain and co-captain, TJ and Street Cred Cookie. They got JCM Shadow, Aki, Sebi, AM22, Gohan, Spitfire, Data, and Bobbert.
So this was one
So,
of the teams that had 125, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it is. So the thing is with this team, I actually do like the JCM Shadow pickup. It might be a little pricey for him, I think, but to be fair, considering how much budget they had, I think they could go like I don't know, like 2, 3K more than they should and still be fine. The Aki pick, I think Shadow at this point is definitely better than Aki, so getting them for similar prices is kind of iffy. But there's nothing wrong with that at all. 50K for those players. Sebi, you know, we had our downs. There was really no ups, but we had our problems. But interesting pickup there. AM22 I think is a great pickup. I know you captained with him last season
Yeah,
and you
he's
said he
pretty
was a
good.
great help to the team. So, and then Gohan, I really, this is the head scratcher for me. Um, he's just not like, he doesn't play Pokemon anymore. And even when he did, he was going for like, what, like 5 to 10K in DPL. So you're getting
Yeah.
him for 19 when he hasn't been playing. So he's worse than he used to be, most likely. And he's going for double.
I know he
I
went
don't
for I
understand
know he
that.
went for 19K whenever in season 5 whenever Sharky was a captain, and he got drafted
Yeah,
on
but that doesn't
Sharky's
make
team,
sense
and he
either.
went 2-4. So
Yeah, that didn't make
I
sense
don't know.
either. And then the last three, I don't really know Spitfire or Data that well, but I know Bobbert has been doing really well in team tours, so I don't have a problem with that at all. But the captain core is obviously terrible. I mean, this is the worst captain core I've ever seen in my entire life.
So the
And
first I'm
yeah,
gonna be straight up. The first thing I notice is, You know, you have a pretty in-depth team, right? You have a lot of depth to your roster. But the
Yeah.
problem with this team is I don't see anybody like out of their expensive picks who is good at drafting. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna
Oh,
have shitty
absolutely.
teams. Like TJ, he's a
Absolutely.
known bad drafter. Street Cred
Yeah.
Cookie probably can't draft worth this shit. I know JCM's jank as fuck. Aki's
Yeah.
definitely jank as fuck. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Ugh.
completely agree with you on that. Um, Gohan's not the best at drafting. I mean, we saw the old heads teams last season. Sebi obviously,
I'm not sure
didn't
how
make him any
strong
better.
Gohan is in general. I don't know how strong he is in any category, to be honest with you. Like
Yeah,
maybe
I,
he's
I
good at
really don't
drafting, but
understand
I
that
have no
pickup.
clue.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. But yeah, I agree with you on the drafting. I mean, me personally, like my philosophy for DPL is like drafts are honestly,
So
I
important.
mean, obviously team roster is most important. You got to get the players, but second is
Drafting, dude.
100% drafts.
It's
Like
so
if
important.
you set yourself up with amazing drafts, it doesn't matter if your team isn't as strong as another one because you're always going to have good matchups. You're always going to be in the front seat of a game. Like having bad drafts and a good team just hinders you so much.
It's dude.
And like I can't see like for example, I don't think any of these players are like, okay, this guy's definitely going to win this week. Like this guy's a lock.
No, they
So
just
if their
have
team,
depth.
if their yeah, if their drafts aren't good, I feel like there's a lot of weeks where they're just going to like really underperform.
Like I
And
know I know JCM's
yeah.
a strong sword and shield player, but let's say he matches up against Craig, he's losing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like, and he only went for 3K less. And what does he provide more than just a player slot? I don't know how good his team support is, but it's a little sketchy. I feel like they might have wanted to spend that extra 3K that they have left over on Craig. You
Right.
know what I
And
mean?
another thing to mention is I feel like you're not getting the draft support from JCM because that's the knock on Craig is that he's not the greatest drafter. But if you're getting just as bad drafters and not as good players for basically the same price, that's just
I
terrible
feel like they're
value.
just getting ripped
I mean,
off. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like
Yeah.
this is a steal. 28K 8K carry fucking Craig, that's a steal, but
Yeah, that's a
JCM,
that was a great pick.
it
Yeah.
makes JCM look bad for 25K, I'm not gonna lie. But
Yeah, and I don't even mind that price for him. I really
yeah,
don't.
I
It
don't
just it
either.
just looked bad.
This
So
looks
it's like,
bad. And
yeah.
like AM, I know he knows how to draft, but he doesn't have a very, what's the word? He doesn't have a very dominant personality, so he's not going to try to
I was
force
thinking the
his
same
opinions.
thing.
He does.
Yeah, I
He's
was
not
thinking
going
the
to try.
exact same
Yeah,
thing.
he's not going to try to take charge during drafting. So I don't think he'll be able to save this team in the
Yeah,
drafting
if
phase
Aki
at
wants to
least.
be a dumbass and draft like a Latias, like
AM's gonna let him.
AM's not going to stop
Yeah,
that.
he's
Yeah,
gonna let him.
exactly.
That's
So, and Aki's obviously a strong personality, he has strong opinions. So like his terrible draft takes are just going to leak into the whole team.
yeah. I can
So
definitely see this team just completely flopping because of their drafts. But let's say out of the blue, TJ and JCM happen to be crazy drafters and they have a bunch
I
of
think,
good teams,
yeah,
even middle of the pack teams. This team has enough depth to it to really succeed and make playoffs, in my opinion, compared to the last
yeah,
two at least. But they have to get those drafts down. If they don't have good drafts, which we'll look at after this,
that
yeah,
really is the deciding factor
that
with this team.
yeah,
Because
that's where I'm at.
I do like the squad. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I think it's a good. I think there's a lot of good players, but that's really the
It's
thing.
a
Like
deal
if they're
breaker,
having
man.
bad matchups every week, then that's
Yeah.
just gonna ruin them.
Because they have a
So
lot of depth, but if their matchup is bad, these players are not strong enough to break out of the bad matchup and win. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
You know,
I 100% agree with you.
and the captains, obviously they're not gonna support them as well. So,
No, no. The
um,
the 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 pressure is mostly on Aki and JCM to
yeah,
to
it's the
really
top two,
carry the
100%.
teams. Yeah,
And then Sebi, I know he can't even play before mids. He can play like week 3,
that's
and
a good
then
point.
that's
Yeah,
it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sebi can't play week
that's
1 and
true.
2. So if they're down 0-2 going into week 3, the motivation's going to be down. It's all going to be on Sebi to ride them back up, which I don't know how
Yeah, and
reliable that is.
he'll probably be having like a manic episode, like crying and shit. So if they're down, if they're an 0-2 team, he'll probably be crying and trying to get off the team. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I do like the depth though. I like Data, Bobbert, Spitfire's alright, but I like these two for 5K. Those are good.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like Bobbert a lot. That's a good one.
But this is a pretty good team in my opinion. It's just all gonna be riding on the drafting for me.
hmm
All right, so
I think
let's.
I like their team better than iPro's team overall.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's move on to the Infernal Armory, captained by King L5 and Aster J. So they got Beardy, Theodore Mani, AML, Darkrai, Jimmy G, Mounte. I don't know how to say his
Yeah,
name.
sure.
And Spies. So I'm gonna start. Dude, the first thing I noticed, this team has
Let them
no
cook.
depth, no depth at
Let them
all
cook.
compared to the last team. You're starting L5 Aster every week. Both of them play
Right.
Usum. I mean, maybe L5 can play Sword and Shield or the new gen. Aster
Yeah,
is
I
an
think
Usum player though.
yeah, I mean, Aster and Spence can both play Sword and Shield, but I think they both prefer to play Sun
And
and Moon for sure.
I think there's going to be a lot of clashing here because I know Darkrai is a Sword and Shield main and Theo is also a Sword and Shield main. So it's like
Yeah,
there's a
that
lot
is
of clashing.
interesting.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of clashing going
Yeah.
on. 32K for Darkrai. Holy smokes, bro. I don't
Yeah.
even know what
That
I'm
was a
looking at here.
that was a head scratcher. Yeah.
This is a I think what they ended up doing was they waited too long, realized all the good players were gone, and were like, all right, we're spending it all on Darkrai. Kind of similar
Yeah, I
to
mean,
what happened to
yeah.
Nerf and Hacker last season.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great comparison. I think he's better than them, but it's the same
Definitely.
principle. I mean, I don't think Darkrai's bad or anything, but I think 32K, considering the other players as well, like I don't think
He's
they got very much value other than Amel. I think Amel was great value, but the rest of the team is like the value was not
I
good.
think he's very comparable to JCM and skill wise. I think they're pretty much neck and
Yeah,
neck.
that's
Um,
probably about right. Yeah.
yeah, I mean I've played both of them a couple. They're pretty similar, man. They come from like the same place too. I think they both come from like APA or some shit. I don't know, but
I personally haven't played them, but I have a somewhat of an understanding.
yeah, they're both decent for sure. Both around 20k I'd say. And then Jimmy G for 10k. I think Jimmy G is a decent pick, but even
Mhm.
for 10k for him, I feel like it's a little much.
Yeah, 10 is a little
Could
much.
you not have
And then
saved point 0.5 so you had 5k left over to
that's
get some
exactly
more
what I was
depth?
gonna say. I feel like they valued Spies over. I don't understand that. Like, I don't know Spies personally. Maybe he's
Oh,
better or like better value or he's really active, but is he really worth two players?
dude, I
I don't
know
I don't really
like
understand
there
that.
there were a lot of players that are pretty
There were
decent that didn't get
definitely,
picked up.
yeah, you could have ditched Spies and gotten two players, but instead you leave yourself with four and a
Dude, you
half
could
and
have
just
ditched
Spies, which I
Spies.
really don't like.
You could have ditched Spies and got Pichu Blitzberg, or ditched Spies and got like Joshua Blitzberg, Joshua Pichu, something like that.
Or even if you want to take a risk like Damos, like there's a lot of
Yeah.
guys that didn't get drafted that I feel like are a better play than just getting one player.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
I feel like getting I don't think Spies is that
Because the
valuable.
budget
It
doesn't
just
show
doesn't.
it,
Yeah.
but secretly they got Spies and were like, this dude is worth two players because they
He's
they
basically a
left
10K
they
player
left. Oh yeah,
essentially.
he's basically a 10k. It doesn't show it, but he's like a shadow 10k because they gave up their last player slot to get Spies, which
Yeah. And
that's
that
a very
completely ruined
questionable
the
pick.
value of 11K Amel, which by the way I want to mention that was a great pick. Amel, I mean, he had a good season. I've played with him before. He's a bit of a wild card, but at the same time, like he gets wins, and I think 11K, like that's a great pickup, and I feel like you just wasted that value just leaving 5K on the board, just not used it all.
And like
So
for a player who I've really never seen Spies in team tours at
yeah, I don't
least
I
at
don't even
all.
know who that is. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
it's a little whack. I mean, it makes their team look so much worse because they have no depth whatsoever.
None, dude,
This is
none.
probably my
Because
least favorite team so far. I'm not gonna lie.
oh, easily. This
Yeah,
is my least favorite team in the entire thing. I think this team is gonna be really bad. Just gonna be honest. Um, L5 and Aster are obviously very, very good caps, but at the same time, I mean, L5 is kind of like me when it comes to DPL, where he's a little bit like roller coastery, and I don't know, man. He's gonna have to have another MVP season, or else I feel like this team is just,
this
just
team
it's
would
just
have
not up to
looked a
par.
lot better in my eyes if they didn't give up that last slot, in my opinion. Like add a
Oh yeah,
Blitzberg at the end of that,
100%.
and the team's a lot better in my eyes at
Yeah,
least.
I completely agree. I don't get that. Like you're wasting all the points. Like if you're leaving that much on the board, like what are you doing? I don't get that at all.
Neither do I. So let's move on to our team. Obviously, we gotta hype this up a little bit. A little
Yes,
biased.
sir.
The Royal Conquerors. Me and Vest are the captains. We got Sharky, Zern, Hunter, TDG, GCS, and Versify, Mimikyu, Stardust, and Marshy. So you want to talk? You want to start this off?
Yeah, man. Obviously, we have the best captain core in the tournament. I personally think both of us are MVP caliber players.
Of course.
And I mean, look at this, man. We aced this team roster. Come on, man. Sharky for 32. You might be thinking, "Ooh, that's a lot," but Sharky is one of the best draft players at the
Consistency.
moment.
If you want to talk
He's
about
consistent, man.
consistent, dude, he's probably the most
You,
consistent Team Tour player right now. The most
oh,
consistent one.
yeah, I 100% agree with you. This man last season essentially won ORS MVP. I mean, he was right there. This guy went what, 6-2, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think 6-2.
Some
Yeah, 6-2.
something crazy like that. So he's one of the best players. Great ORAS player. And then we got Zern. I mean, Zern is an LD champion. He's been playing for a long time. One of the best Sun and Moon players. Draft league. I mean, draft tournaments like DPL. He's been good. I mean, obviously he had that one season. We don't talk about that season,
Yeah,
but I've
everybody
been
has.
there, bro. I've been getting hacks.
Yeah.
I've been there. And then we got Hunter, another staple to DPL. I mean, this guy plays every season and is the most consistent, like 2 games above 500 every time. I mean, this guy is just the pinnacle of consistency. I mean, you watch him, he's beaten Gypsy multiple times. He's just a great player. And then this is really where I think we aced the draft, is that I feel like our 5K players are just so valuable. You look at TDG, he was amazing last season
Six and
on
two.
Toxic's team.
Yeah.
6-2 in Sword and Shield. We got him for 5.5. I understand you're like, oh it's TDG, like he has this stigma around him, but I'm like, dude, I don't care what stigma you have around you. If you went 6-2, you went 6-2, bro.
No,
Like five and a
you,
half is
dude, you
crazy.
shouldn't go 6-2 and then go for 5K again the next season. That makes zero sense to me.
Exactly. Like this just seems like, oh, I don't want TDG on the team. Let me tell you something. I used to think that way about TDG. He's been on our team so far. He has not bothered me one time. He's been a great help to the team with all the drafts. I really like him. Next, we got GCS. GCS obviously has some controversies in draft tournaments, but me personally,
It's an
he has
LD
none with me.
Masters player.
Exactly that, and he has never had a problem with me. I had him in TDT, good player. I had no problems with him. And for 5K, I mean, the level of player we're getting here for 5K is just crazy. I mean,
His ceiling, his
he's better
ceiling is
than so
higher
many of
than
these like,
any other 5K. Way
oh,
higher.
100, yeah, him and TDG.
Yeah, both of
So,
them.
and then we got Inversify. Me personally, I didn't know that much about him, Versify. I knew he played LC, but everyone on the team was raving about him for me to pick him up. And so far, him in the team server, he's super active. I really like him. He's been helping a lot with the drafts. Like he's a really like nice person to have around. I really enjoy talking to him. He's not a fucking idiot. And then Mimikyu Stardust, Sharky told me about this guy that he's a Smogon player, a really good Smogon player. I personally like Smogon players. I'm personally and Toxic. We're both really active, so I think it's good for us to get at least one because I mean I can put a lot of effort into this guy and help him as much as he needs.
Of course.
And then Marshy for the little slave at the end. I mean,
She's just
Marshy,
there. She's
yeah,
chilling.
Marshy is always rocking with me. I mean, I had to pick her up eventually. I was doing her dirty last season. I felt bad, so I had to pick her up. But I'm not just picking her up because I felt bad. I really think she's a good pickup. Like, she's been helping me for a long time with a lot of stuff. So I think she's valuable
Very
for sure.
motivated player to do well,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
All right, let me go on about this. Sharky already said he's like the most consistent player in the format. I feel like 32
yeah.
is a pretty good price for him. You're not taking risks whenever you get Sharky. He's consistently proven himself over and over
Exactly.
again that he's gonna go positive and he's gonna pretty much carry your team record wise. So why would we not
Hmm.
get him? You know what I mean? He's also
Exactly.
pretty fucking active. Like he's always in
Hmm.
VC. He's always putting input,
He's always
putting
around, man.
opinions.
Yeah.
And then Zern, he's been a DPL captain multiple times. He's captained in other tours. He's got a lot of team tour experience. He's failed. He's succeeded. I feel like having a little bit of a veteran on our team is gonna help us for not only a playoff run, but I think just going for the chip in general. So I feel like having that around is gonna help a lot. And like Hunter, same case as Sharky. Specifically in DPL though, he's been going positive every season. I've seen him make some wild plays, which really catch my eye. I feel like his
Yeah.
ceiling's up there. TDG GCS, like you said, ceiling is just up there. GCS is a consistent LD Masters player. I mean, like 5K for that, come on. And Versify, so this is a LC dude. This is the best LC player in all of draft by a long shot. I mean, nobody even comes close. So and he's been talking to me. He's been saying, I think I can really do good in the actual formats. I think I can bring over my playing ability, because LC is a tier where it's mostly play based, not really prep based. So you kind of just have to outplay your opponent if you've ever watched LC draft. Um, so I feel like that playing ability will be able to transfer over. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I feel like he has a lot of potential to succeed. And then Mimikyu Stardust. So Sharky was telling us this dude is apparently up there with Nick, if not better than Nick, in the Smogon scene. And you've seen how good Nick's been doing in draft. He's been going positive in these team tours. So I mean, I have the same expectation for Mimikyu to start. I feel like he's gonna do really good too. And then Marshy, we want that little extra cherry on top. The activity, a lot of motivation, a lot of ambition from this player. She's
Yeah.
got that strive to want to be good, to want to be great.
Yeah.
That's what really caught our eye. But yeah, obviously this is my favorite team.
I would have to agree, personally.
We can go ahead and move on, I guess,
Yeah.
to the next 125K roster. We got the Great Tuscaterra with Ian and Hacker as the captains. They got 100 Pyronox, Vino, Odin, Nick, Max, Nerf, Metro, and Spiel. Do you want to go ahead and go first on this?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about this team. So if mainly what I'm looking at here is I want to compare them to TJ's team because I feel like that's a really good way to do it is just who did better with their extra money. And I think it's not even close. This team is so much better than TJ's team. Craig for 28, as we mentioned earlier, is one of the best picks in the entire draft. Pyro, another top five player for 27. If we're comparing these guys to other players that went for 30 or 25-ish, they're better than them in my opinion. And they got both of them for a solid price. And then Vino. Vino is a semi-consistent player, LD player, he does well. I think 18 may be a bit much, but not the worst pick in the world. Odin, don't really like this pick, to be honest with you. I don't really get the point of it, but this is where they bring it back right here. Nick for 11K, I think is a great pick. I think, like, if I'm just comparing, I think him and Amel are two just great steals. I mean, they both went for 11K. They're both consistent players. I really like that pickup. Max, he's been on a bit of a slouch in just Pokemon overall, just mostly with motivation, not really as a player. I've been seeing him talk, and he said he's pretty motivated right now, and he definitely used to be a really good player. So I think if he's really going hard and he's doing all that, I think he can make a difference here. Nerf for 6K, I think is good. I think he underperformed last season, but 6K, I mean, that's not really taking much of a risk. Metro, hey, I mean, this guy beat me in ORAS last season. Beating me last season might not be saying much, but he played really well. I think he has potential. And then I don't know who Spiel is, but the rest of the team, I really like it.
So yeah, I have to agree with you. I think obviously it's a weaker captain core, but they brought it
Yeah.
back because they had 125K, and they basically buy a captain with their 25K that they get extra, and getting
hmm
100 for 25K, that's gonna bring it back for 28. Those top two picks, there's not really many other top two picks in the entire thing that can top that. 100 and
Oh yeah.
Pyro, if they're lining up and going hard. Obviously 100 has had that one really bad season, and Pyro has had a couple of slightly negative seasons, but overall they're both pretty consistent recently, at least. So I think those are two pretty safe picks. Um, Vino as a captain, he's been failing. You know, he's had two back-to-back seasons of like bottom tier teams captaining wise,
Mhm.
but playing wise, he's been going I think about even.
He has won a chip as a captain though too.
Yeah, but we're talking
Him
recently.
and, him and Max actually, which is kind of interesting.
We're talking
Uh,
recently though. I mean, that
no,
was
I know.
like
I'm
what,
just
two
saying it's
years
interesting
ago?
they got both of them with that captain core there. It's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. But oh yeah, Max was a captain last season too. I think he was a captain of Hungry Men, right? If I'm not
Was
mistaken.
he?
It was
I don't
Zern
know.
and Max, right? I can't remember.
I don't know,
I know
but
Zern
sure.
for sure, but yeah. Odin for 12. he really is a very mid player. I wouldn't go much over 8K for Odin. So they lost a little bit of value there, I think. His activity is meh, drafting meh, playing meh, prep is meh. I mean, not much
Yeah.
on him. He's all
He's
right.
just okay.
He's all
Yeah.
right. He's a good DPL 5K. Um, Nick for 11, obviously that's a massive steal. This guy has been going positive, but the only thing with Nick is you need a lot of prep support for him. He doesn't really prep his own games. Anytime I've been around Nick, he's had either like Sharky prepping all his shit, or he's had, some other pretty good player prepping all of his teams. So in this scenario, Hacker's not going to be able to cut it for him. It's going to have to be 100 prepping his teams.
Yeah, it'd probably have to be Craig.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
thinking
I
that.
don't know
I don't
how
know.
motivated Craig's gonna be to prep another Smogon player's teams. And is Craig prep really up to par? We'll have to find out, I
I
guess.
he's mostly play, but yeah, I think his prep's pretty good. Yeah.
I think you're losing a little bit of value with Nick on this team, but yeah, I can see, or maybe Vino can help him a little, but we'll see.
Yeah, probably.
Again, nothing crazy, but yeah. Max for 8.5. I think that's a pretty safe pick. I wouldn't go over 10 for him because he really hasn't been very hot recently. Motivation's been down,
Yeah.
but I know he has the potential to do pretty good. Nerf for 6. I think he went slightly negative on my Clash of Kings team. I wasn't really impressed with him. His play's good, but his prep is really not there. He's another like kind of Smogon player. Like you're really gonna have to help him in the prep aspect and carry him, which I just don't think this team in particular, can bring Nerf to his potential, like up to his ceiling, because I don't think they have the
Yeah.
prep support for it. So that I mean,
This team's not that active,
this
to be
team
honest
looks
with you.
good on paper, but I just don't think any of the players are going to mesh well together. Same with Metro. Metro's another Smogon guy. You're gonna have to. You want a lot of prep support with Metro. I know Metro and Vino teamed together last season, and Metro, I think he went even or slightly positive. So maybe Vino can have that same success with them again.
Yeah.
And Spiel, I don't. I'm not sure about this
I don't
one.
know what that is. Yeah.
I
But
don't
I
know.
want to mention this is I think they have the same problem, funnily enough, as the other 125K, as I feel like the drafting on this team is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Craig and Pyro being their two best players are known not that great drafters. I feel like that's why they succeed so much in DPL is because they get um, better drafters to draft their teams for them, and then they just flourish. I mean, if you look at Craig on that Mystic Kings teams, you got John and just like really, really great drafters, and he went 8-0. I mean, he absolutely dominated. So I think it's really going to rely on their drafts because I mean, you look at Craig's team last season that he drafted, it was absolutely terrible, and he still went 4-2. So that really just shows you the potential of this guy.
I feel like their drafting is definitely below average. I think
Hmm.
all of their drafting is going to be Vino, Hacker, Odin, and none of them are known to be crazy with drafting. I remember Vino had like a Sword and Shield or Matisse or some shit last season. So, I mean, I'm not really impressed by that. So, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get this, maybe re-rank this team after we take a look at their drafts. But
Yeah.
yeah,
On paper, it looks good though.
on
I think
paper it
it's
looks
top.
good.
In my opinion, it's top four
On
for sure.
paper it looks good, but once you look, like, a lot of players on this team are going to need support, and the support's not really there for me. So I think it's on the
Yeah.
bottom half for me at least.
Okay.
So let's move on to the cake takers. Do you want to name these players?
Yeah, they got Base Tech and Genius as the captains. Then they got Crash and Boom Bang, H Trainer Josh, Jeroni Puff, Glop, Hiker, High Crocs, Undead, and Chance. If you wanna start on this
All
one.
right, so Base Tech and Zing, they went ahead and bought both of their captains. I think Base Tech hasn't played for a fucking minute. He didn't really play throughout all of Sword and Shield, or at least maybe a little
Yeah,
bit at the
not
beginning.
not much. Yeah,
So, and
not
Zing,
a lot.
same case with Zing. So
Same thing.
the
Yeah.
first thing I'm noticing is they're gonna have to get a good Sword and Shield player who has a good grasp on the meta. Because if you don't know the Sword and Shield meta, if you're drafting like it's an Usum team, the team's gonna be horrible. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a completely
Very
different.
different.
It's a very
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
different learning curve. So let's dive into who they get to help that out. They get CBB. He's very new to draft. That's not gonna cut. That's not gonna close that gap I just mentioned. But 30, whew, this is a risky pick.
See, that's
35.5.
that's the thing
Ooh
right
wee.
there. I'm not really that concerned about him, but the problem is
The
it's like
prize.
35 and a half, man. That's the number one player price-wise in the entire tournament. I feel like that's a little risky. I'm not, like I said, I'm really not concerned about him. I think he'll do well. But just considering that he took up so much of their cap space, I mean, that's kind of
I
rough.
think if Zing really goes hard, he'll be able to help him on the prep aspect because Zing's a pretty good
Yeah.
prepper.
Yeah,
But
he's really good.
I just don't think it was the wisest decision to go for such a risky pick for
Yeah, I mean,
36K. I mean,
and they got more risky picks
okay,
later
so
as well.
Zing literally teamed with like I drafted Zing and Josh last season, and I guess Zing didn't watch Josh's games. I mean, Josh should have went even last season, but he was hexing half of his opponents, and his activity was rock bottom until Sunday every week. He wasn't taking
Yeah.
mocks until the weekend. We would end up having to build some of his teams because he wouldn't have a finalized team and he'd be struggling. So we would have to get in there, get in VC, and build his fucking team. So 16K for such a I don't want to diss him too hard because he did good on my team last season, but I want to say middle of the pack Oras player is a little
Yeah.
concerning, especially whenever you're
Yeah.
backing it up with a 36K CBB. You know that's your second player. That's your
Exactly.
second place
Exactly.
player is Josh.
Yeah.
I mean it's a
Yeah.
little weird, and I got him for a lot cheaper too. I got him for about 11K last season, which I think is a fair price for him again this season. But
Mhm.
next you got Jeroni Puff, 8.5 for a he's a Sword and Shield guy. I don't think he has a good grasp on the meta because he comes from Smogon, but I think playing wise, if they have a good draft, Jeroni Puffs might go even in this Sword and Shield player pool. I feel like.
Mhm.
Then they got Glop for 8K. So Glop, he's been telling me. I've talked to him a little bit. He's super motivated this season to do well, but everybody knows Glop. He's got a really strong opinions on things, and he's got a really strong personality, and he likes to enforce all of his opinions onto you, and you have to really, really get in there and convince him for him to back down, which can be really annoying because a lot of his opinions are weird and honestly just outright wrong. But his ambition might make up for it. He's really a coin flip type player. He's a sword and shield player, but he said he's open to playing SV, so that'll give him like one of their SV slots, I'm sure. If they have Jeroni playing sword and shield. So for 8K, I'm not gonna say Glop's a bad pick, but it's a risky pick because he can be a little bit of an AIDS team presence if you don't keep him under control.
Yeah.
And then Hiker, dude, I Zing is just drafting NV, but all the bad parts of NV, if I'm being honest. I got Hiker too. Like I got Hiker as my
Oh yeah,
round one last
Glop,
season.
Glop too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Josh, like, dude. I mean, Hiker. I got Hiker round one, Zing round two. Hiker ended up playing week one, losing, and then didn't speak for the rest of the season. So I don't know what Zing is thinking. Thinking, all right, let's coin flip it on Hiker again.
Okay,
Maybe
I
he'll
will
work out on
say,
my team.
I will say, since he got drafted, I've been messaging Hiker. He's online much more
That he
than
was.
I've usually seen him. I mean, like he's
I
responding to
mean,
my
I don't know
messages.
if
He's
you've been
like,
paying attention to the drafts. They end up waiting 8 hours on the old gens to pick because
no,
Hiker,
I know, but
you know.
like to be fair, like recently at least, I'm good friends with Hiker, so I message him every once in a while. He usually won't get back to me for a few days. Like that's just normal for us. And he's responding pretty quick, like every day. So I feel like he's on helping the team. I just don't know about the rest of the guys if they're really active.
And then High Crocs, I think it's kind of like Marshy. You just want like a little slave, a little mock slave.
Yeah,
Undead, same case, but Undead is,
that's my son.
yeah, look, he's okay for a mock slave. And then Chance, he's a veteran, but he hasn't been very hot as of late. That's why he's
I
going
didn't
for
even
5K.
realize they had chance, to be honest with you.
I think didn't we have
Interesting.
Chance in TDT and we ended up dropping him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he
because
didn't really do
he
anything.
wasn't really doing anything. He's a funny guy though. I like Chance.
No, I like chance. Yeah.
This is
Okay, so here's
probably
here's
my
my thing.
new least favorite team, if I'm being honest with you.
Here's my thing with this thing. Here's my thing. Hiker used to be a really good drafter. I think he's lost his touch a little bit.
Yeah, when you don't play for 2 years, you might lose something.
And
you know,
and Zing is genuinely a great player. Like honestly, his prep is really
not a
good. His
great
play
drafter. I'll tell you that
his
much.
play might not be amazing, but his prep is usually enough to carry him to where like he doesn't even have to play well. His drafting is
Dude,
abysmal.
it's
I mean,
bottom of the
I was
barrel,
helping
bro.
this guy this season in LD.
It's
Oh my
he
God, dude.
genuinely has
He
the
doesn't
bottom of
have a
the most
grasp
bottom
on
of the barrel drafting I've ever seen out of any
I
good
don't
player.
get it at all, man. Like like I said, I was helping him this season after he drafted his team. So I was like, dude, you got to change this team around. This is absolutely terrible. So we had to like revamp his entire team, and it's still not even that good just because of how bad he messed it up. Like, and he does that consistently. I mean, he's always been like that.
For a dude who's been
So
playing for so long, like usually these old head type players are they have so much experience doing so many drafts. You think they'd be good drafters, but Zing
yeah,
is the most
Zink.
lopsided dude I've ever met.
Yeah, Zink. Here's the thing with Zink.
Like,
He'll have every once in a while, he'll have a really good draft and he'll pop off. I mean, he'll have a great season, but that just doesn't happen that often with him. And in something like a team tournament, there's so many drafts. There's no way he's gonna hit all of his good drafts. I mean, there's gonna be some stinkers in there. So I really don't like this
I
team
think
at all.
this is probably the biggest drafting problem out of any of the other teams we've reviewed. They don't have a single
And
player in here who's
maybe
known to be good at drafting.
Hiker is, but
But
like
he
he
hasn't
just
played for
he's
2
not
years
like
and he's not
yeah.
active that much. You have to wait 8
Yeah, he
hours for
used to
him
be
to
the
say
best
something.
drafter though, to be fair.
And I feel like with all this activity lacking, Glob's gonna feel the need to step up, and I feel like that might create some sneaker drafts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
we've
yeah,
seen a little bit of it already.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say that this team is my second worst team. I think Infernal Armory is still worse. But here's the thing. I
I
feel
think
like this team has more potential than Infernal Armory,
if
but
Hiker
Infernal Armory
shows up,
has a higher floor.
maybe if Hiker
That's the thing.
plays all 7 games this season. But if Hiker isn't playing all 7 games and popping off, they are worse than the Infernal Armory, in my opinion,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
easily.
They have a lower floor but a higher ceiling. So it's really it's hard to rank
I
this
mean, they
team.
easily
But
have the lowest floor out of any team. Easily. I mean,
oh
it's
yeah,
not even a
yeah,
competition.
no, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
They could. I mean, if there was gonna be an 0-7 team, this would be the team. This would be the 0-7 team. I'm gonna be honest
Hey
with you,
man,
dude.
I've been there. It takes a lot of skill to go 0-7.
Yeah.
It's hard to go 0-7. I'll tell you that.
But yeah.
So I
I
don't know
mean,
about that, but
dec-
they're not looking great.
decent cap. This is definitely like a one of the better captain cores, but man, they didn't do a great job with their players.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't like it either.
next up we got, dude. I don't even know how to say this team name.
I got it, bro. The
Okay.
Hitori Nackleys. Lejon, let me know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm pretty sure I did. So the captains are Lejon and Sablo, with the players being Halu, Septile Scythe, Halu, Harris, Finchinator, Jake, Halu, and
And
Halu.
Holly. Yeah.
Okay, okay, let me be real. Let me be real, bro. My bad, Flash Coon and Ollie 24 and Plasma 2000. Dude, what
What the
what
fuck?
happened here?
What the
You
fuck
know
am I
what
looking
bothers
at?
you know what bothers me most about this team?
What
It's not
bothers
the
you the
worst
most?
team.
Yeah,
It's not the
dude,
worst
I'm
team.
not gonna lie, dude. I think Finch, Jake, and Halu combined
It's
top
not
the
that
cake
bad.
takers, bro.
It's not that
I
bad.
think
Like I
I think it
genuinely think
tops the
this
cake
team could make
takers.
playoffs. Like that scares me. Like why is
I
this
think
team not the worst
I think
team?
4 Halu slots, Jake, Finch, and Harris. I think that
And
shit
Sablo,
and
he'll be
Sablo.
playing.
I think
And
that
Lejon.
tops the cake takers.
It does. 100%.
Again,
Like
I think the drafting is gonna be fucking abysmal, but
it is.
yeah,
We've
we've
seen
already
it.
had a sneak peek.
All
But
right, let
yeah,
me be a little more serious though. Halu, they dropped the Insta 30 off rip. Bold strategy. Um, Halu is a bit of a wild card,
they had to protect his
but
fragile ego. Make sure
yeah,
he went for
that
enough
is yeah,
to
that is a little weird of
yeah.
him. I still don't understand why he wanted to go for so much, but more power to him, I guess.
I guess.
Um,
Oh,
So
okay.
Halu is a bit of a wild card just because obviously he hasn't been playing in DPL since he was banned.
Dude, he's the same
But I mean,
case as fucking what was his name? He's the same case as Hiker, dude. He hasn't played in forever.
kinda. But he was much better than Hiker when he was in DPL, to be fair. Like Halu was, I mean, like an MVP player. So I mean, if he can, I mean, that's a big if. If he can go back to that, I mean, it'll be good, but that's a big if. I don't really want to talk about Sceptile Scythe and Flash Coon. Like I don't really have an
I mean, the
opinion.
Subtile Scythe is a horrible player. I don't know if you've ever seen him play, but he's one of the
Uh,
worst players I've ever fucking seen.
I just
But
know he has a thick fucking accent. That's all I know. Harris, Harris is fine. It's a fine pickup. I feel like if you're comparing him to the other 11 Kers, like he's worse than Nick and Amel for sure, but he's not a bad pick. Finchinator for 19.5 is a great fucking pick. I was really shocked when this happened. I understand he went 0-5, but are we really ranking Finch and Sebi similarly? They both went 0-5. Finch is way better than Sebi, and he only went for 2.5 more, and he can play every game. Sebi's not even playing every game. This makes absolutely no sense to me. Um,
no,
that was just
no. Let me correct you there. Finch
oh,
needs
dude,
good drafts to do good.
everyone needs
he's
good
he's
drafts
the
to do
same
good.
case.
What is it?
He's the same case as Craig and all of that shit.
Craig doesn't need good
Craig
drafts
was
to do
doing good
good.
on MK because
He
he
went
went
4-2
he
last
went
season
8 and
with
0.
that fucking Bulu
He went
team, dude. That's crazy.
he went 8 and
That's
0 because he was
crazy.
using good drafts, and Finch went pretty positive
Okay,
because he was
I
using good
don't
drafts.
disagree with you, but you have to
Alright.
admit, like, let's compare the 19.5K Finch to 35.5 CBB. I don't think that's that big of a difference, and they go for 15K more.
They're pretty
So,
similar, yeah.
and then Jake for 15, another great fucking pickup. Okay, I am great friends with Jake and Hiker. Jake should not be going for less than Hiker at this point. Hiker is an all-time better player, but Jake has been playing a little bit recently, and overall, he's just more reliable. I really don't understand how he only went for 15 compared to Hiker's 17.
I mean, he did
And
say
then
he isn't gonna try hard and all that shit, but yeah,
no, he cares about his individual record. So I mean, he's gonna try to get some wins. I mean, I respect that. And then the last two guys, I don't know who these guys are, bro.
that's
Like
Halu.
these are two Halu. These are two Halu slots, bro.
They are
What are we
two
doing here?
Halu slots, yeah.
And they did the same thing as Infernal Armory, leaving a 4.5K on the board, which really fucking bothers me.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think this
But
team
their
is
team's better than Infernal
yeah.
Armory's.
No, I think this is better than the Cake Takers.
Yep.
Infernal Armor is close, but I'm gonna
No,
say
it's
okay.
not.
So
I
let's
think
rank
it's
the
way
teams.
better than Infernal
Let's rank
Armory's.
the teams pre-draft, like before we look at their drafts, and then so far at
Okay.
least because the drafting isn't done. But and then let's rank them again after. So I'll go first. I think in last
Just
place,
based off rosters.
I
Yeah.
think in eighth place we got the Cake Takers. I don't think it's close, honestly. I think in seventh I'm gonna put the Hattori Nackleys, just because the drafts are gonna be so abysmal that I think it's gonna carry the team down way too much.
Listen,
um,
don't talk about the drafts yet, bro. Don't talk about the drafts yet.
and then so I'm still gonna have that in seventh.
Yeah, that's
Sixth,
fine.
sixth is between the Great Tusks and the Infernal Armory.
Really?
Uh, yeah,
Dude,
just
I
because I
think
don't like
Tusk
I don't
is
like how
way better than Infernal
it's because
Armory.
I don't like how the players mesh together. I don't think they're gonna help each other enough.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go in sixth. I'm gonna go Great Tusks of Terror, just
Mhm.
because I think L5 and Aster are so good that I think they're gonna be able
Yeah,
to elevate the team.
that's fair.
And then fifth, Infernal Armory. Fourth, I'm gonna go with the Learn to Play Club. It's either that or the family. I don't know which one I think I'm gonna go with the family actually. I don't think I like the family as much as L2P.
Okay.
So fourth, I'm gonna go with the family. Third, I'm gonna go L2P. Second, I'm gonna go with the Hisuian Offseers, because
I don't see that at all, bro.
I think the depth
I
is
don't see what you're
crazy.
saying.
I think the depth is crazy, but I mean, you were saying like you don't want to look at the drafts yet, right? I mean,
No, I don't think the depth is that crazy.
you don't. I mean,
No.
I guess Sebi, he's not gonna be able to. So if they're 0-2, I think if they're 0-2 off rep, the team's gonna fucking fail. So if
Even with Sebi, I don't know. I don't see what you're seeing personally.
I'm thinking about swapping L2P and Hisuian Offseers, I do think the depth is
It's
way
up to
too
you,
good
bro.
for this.
I'm gonna give my opinions too. You can pick whatever you want, bro.
I just really don't fuck with either of these teams, but they're just higher because I fuck with them, I guess, more than the rest.
Okay. Well, you'll just put them
I'm
tied.
gonna I'm gonna tie them. Yeah, they're both at 3-2. They're tied, and then first is us, obviously. So you can go ahead and go for
Okay.
your rankings.
I disagree with a lot of what you said. I think I think the Infernal Armory is the worst team. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it at all. Like I think they completely whiffed on the draft, or the roster, the auction. And then I got Cake Takers second to last. I mean, both these teams are really close to me. Like I really don't like either one of them. And then I got Hisui and Offseers third to last.
You
I
got
don't see what you're
Halu
seeing,
above
bro.
them? You got Halu's team above them?
Yes, bro. I don't see what you're seeing, bro.
Okay.
Like, and then, dude, I might not even put Hitori here, low key. No, I will. Okay, LeJohn's team is five,
Okay.
but I think they're very close to my four, who is L2P. I think they're really close to that team. I'm not gonna
Uh,
lie.
okay.
I think they're really close,
Interesting.
bro. I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest with you. And then I got three is gonna be Tusks. I I understand what you're saying, but I think just player wise, they did a great job.
I think
I think they
like
have
the
a few
top two.
locks
I
for
think
wins.
okay, listen. I think the top two are amazing, but if you compare everything else and then you're looking at the Hisui and Offseers depth, the Offseers are gonna fuck them because they're gonna go up
I
two
don't agree
games.
with you.
They're gonna go
I
up
don't
two
agree with you,
games
bro.
on the Offseers, and then the Offseers are gonna sweep with the rest of their depth.
I don't agree with you.
You don't
I
you don't
think
agree?
I think Craig is smoking anyone in Gen 8.
Yeah, that's one game.
Pyro's smoking anyone in
That's
Gen
what I
7.
said. Two games. That is two games, and then
But
everybody else
wait,
is
wait, wait, wait. But
losing.
wait, listen, that's not true. I don't agree with that, bro. Vino can beat any of those guys. I'm not saying it's likely, but he could. Same with Nick,
Coin flip, coin
same
flip,
with Max,
coin
and
flip.
same with Ian.
I don't. I don't know, man. Ian, I really don't rate Ian that highly after last season, especially. But
I think they're better than what you're saying. And then I have two, the family, and then I think we're the best team.
so
So
you have the family in second. Wait,
yeah.
hold on. Rename it all again.
Do you want me to go from 8 to 1?
Yeah, yeah. I forgot what your list was.
Infernal Armory 8, Cake Takers 7, uh, Offseers 6, LeJohn's team 5, L2P 4, Tusks 3, Family 2,
Us
us
one.
1.
Okay, so our lists
Yeah.
are so different. They are very different.
Yeah.
Cause I had last place Cake Takers. Seventh was Hitori Nackley. Sixth was Great Tusks, I believe, and then I had Infernal Armory in fifth,
Mhm.
and then fourth I had L2P. No, I had the family in fourth, and
Mhm.
then I had third L2P, second Hisui and Offseers, first us. Okay,
Yeah, I don't see what you're saying
very,
personally.
very, very different. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and move into the drafts here. So,
So we'll go a little quicker on this. We're not going to go into a huge breakdown of all the teams,
all
but
right. So yeah, I mean, let's just go with the drafts that are finished. So the Russell one is I'm not even gonna name them all. I'm just gonna look. So
yeah.
you got some mega pincer zero pivots. Bit of
This
a
team fucking
questionable team.
sucks, dude.
I really don't
This
fuck
team
with
is
Gen
dog shit.
17. Yeah. So
I'm
this
gonna be
is
real with you, bro.
yeah,
This is one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life, bro.
it's not
Like,
not great
I
at
don't
all.
even. The worst part is, I feel like the Mega Pincer is not even a bad pick, like in theory, but on this team, it makes absolutely no fucking sense. There's no pivots. Persian and Zero Aura are the momentum. What is that, bro? First of all, you're not running Volt Switch Zero Aura, so we're not even gonna count that. And then Persian? Come on, bro. What is this? Like, you got the Don fan round 4 for the Mega Pincer. That's weird as fuck. You got you ruined a Zera team, bro.
I
That's all
mean,
I gotta
the
say.
thing I'm
You
looking at
ruined a
is
Zera
like you're
team, bro.
drafting Klefki, and like usually Klefki is gonna go screens. And you want some big setup guy. Like who do you have, Pincer? I don't really
I mean,
fuck with it.
Necro and Zera mostly, I'd say.
I mean, yeah, but Necro wants to be running like rocks because you don't want to go rocks on Donphan every time, right? I mean, it's
It's
a
a good
little.
point. Only two rockers is pretty. Yeah, what is up with the Roselia pick? Why? What is Roselia doing on this team, bro? You
Yeah,
have a
because you already have
Klefki. I'm
Klefki.
so confused.
I don't know.
This team just confuses the fuck out of me. Let's move on. That team fucking sucks.
Then
The
you
next
got
team, Aegis, that shall be
AGKB.
interesting. Aegis, that shall be
AGKB will be
interesting.
interesting.
Unbanned It has better stats than Gen 8. Just an overall better Pokemon. I think the AG Kyurem Black Core is pretty cool. Um,
With
just
Rotom,
breaking wise,
can't go wrong.
and I actually quite like this team.
Yeah, with Rotom, you can't go
Definitely
wrong.
compared to the other one. I mean, you got at least one really good pivot in Rotom Wash, and then you got the cleaning ability of Crook and Lopunny behind the breaking of Kyurem Black and Aegislash. Obviously it's a 5 Pokemon team, which really sucks, but those
Ooh, you're
5
right,
are
yeah.
really good.
You're
Those
gonna have to
5 are
bring
really
one of
good.
Archeops, Roselia, and Duocean every
Yeah,
week.
which I think is really, really trash. I never am a fan of getting 5 Mon teams. Um, but I mean, compared to their other team, it's
It is
a lot
better.
better.
I think the
Yeah,
second one's usable for sure.
yeah.
Then Oras 1, a little bit of Clef, Lop, Hydra. That's a D. Starmie's a little.
Okay. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Why is Starmie on this team?
Yeah.
Like, are you so addicted to speed tiers that you're like, oh my God, we need a
I'm
115
not
on
gonna
this?
lie, I
Like,
think
what?
we sniped him of Blastoise.
I
Because
don't care.
this was looking
What?
like a perfect
You have
Blastoise
no
team.
rock weak mons. Literally zero. Literally zero. Also, by the way, I want to mention this. I don't know if any teams got Excadrill, but you get 6-0'd by a Mold Breaker Excadrill. Just want to throw that out there.
That is true.
Not I'm not sure if a single team even got one. Okay, no, not a
No
single team
Oras
got
Drill?
one,
I
so that's
thought Drill
irrelevant.
was popular in Oras. What the
Nope,
hell?
nobody fucks with it anymore. Okay, that doesn't matter, but if someone picks up a drill, you're fucked. But I don't like this team.
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
I don't
kind of
like it.
fucked by like any
Starmie
ground.
makes no sense. Starmie makes no sense. Roselia is okay. I mean, Piloswine, Buzz, like, eh. I mean, Hydreigon, Lop, Clef, Meta, I think that's pretty good,
I
but
think
it's not blowing me out of the
it's
water, man.
decent. I think it's a decent team.
Yeah,
I
but I
think
feel like the
it'll be
bottom
able to
half is
take it
so
home.
dog shit, though. I feel like they ruined it past, like, Metagross.
I feel like it's all another one of them 5 Mon teams. Like you're bringing one of Pylo, Roselia, and
Yeah,
Electabuzz
dude.
every week.
Like, what is
They,
that?
they seem to love the five
Starmie,
Mon
Starmie's
teams.
just, Starmie's not worth it on this team at all.
Yeah, they seem to love
Uh,
those 5 Mon archetypes for sure.
yeah, dog shit team. Next. Oh, you got blessed here. You can't fuck this up, man. You got a Mega Guard. Congratulations. This is a good team. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Do you want to quickly review what they don't have finished? We'll just go with the
Oh,
top
yeah, sure.
few. G King, Cart, Crook, Silvally. This is horrible. This is probably one of the worst OTL teams I've
This
ever
this
seen
is
in
the
my life.
Skyhorse team we were
This is
talking about.
one
This is
of
the
the
Skyhorse team.
worst. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna slap a Fortress, and then it's just gonna be even more shit. Um, this is terrible. This is 0 out of 10. The second one we got Lando, Rotom. It's looking decent so far. I don't really
That's
fuck
not
with
bad. That's
Copper.
not bad.
It's looking decent though. You
Yeah,
got
it's got good
Annihilate.
pivots, unlike every other draft they have.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So we got like a little Chiyu, Lando, Qua, Cyclozar, S Path, or Cheese. Looking
okay,
good.
I want to mention this real quick, bro. How do you fuck up these first 3 Pokemon? How?
What the
Why
Chiyu,
did you get
Lando,
a
Qua?
Spathra?
I think they overdid it on the
Espathra is
offense. I
not
think
worth it, bro.
I've been mentioning a little bit that all the top tier mons in this new meta can break any team because they're all really fucking good and really powerful. So I've been like emphasizing for us not to overdo it on the offense. I feel like this team is the
Mm.
definition of doing overdoing it on the offense.
But I feel
You
like
know
it's
what
really just the Espathra ruined it because you can go with an offensive team with Cyclizar, but like 13-point Espathra is crazy. Like that is not worth it
What
to
are they
me at
gonna
all,
tear
bro.
us? So they can't tear their Chiyu and they can't tear the
No,
Lando.
it's
They're
gonna be
going
Chi-Yu
Quavis Pathra.
Espathra.
No, I think they're gonna go
No,
Quavis Pathra,
bro,
right?
you gotta tear a Chi-Yu, bro. That thing is so broken. Okay, whatever. But I think that team sucks. They ruined it with the last 2 picks. The
Well, it's
first 3
just
are
I
really
think the
good.
Terra fucking like the only you only get to pick 2 Terras. That's fucking me up a little bit. But yeah, they overdid it
I
on the
think they'll
offense
go,
too.
yeah.
All right,
Next team, I mean, you
Lando,
got
I
some strong
Goldengo,
Pokemon
Sneasler.
here.
I
I
don't
mean,
fuck with the
Lando.
Skeledirge, dude. People haven't
Yeah, I feel
realized
like
that
Dirge.
defensive Terras are gonna fucking suck because you're gonna know
Yeah,
what Terra
you
they
you
are.
know.
All it's
Yeah,
gonna do is create 50-50s that aren't in your favor. Like
yeah,
I really don't fuck with that.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Dirge. I mean, if it was less points, I could get behind it, but 14's a little fucking pricey. Uh, Goldengo, obviously fire. Sneasler is good. Lando I is good. I mean, it's really going to depend on what else they get, but I don't mind this team. I think it's solid.
You got
You need a
Anal
need a
Ape,
need a dark type.
Anal Ape, Gran. I don't know why I'm calling it Anal Ape, but
That's what it's
Annihilate,
called, bro.
Gren, Sizz, Thundi T, Hatterene, looking middle of the pack.
What is up with the dude? Why do they get these weird ass picks
Like Hatterene.
halfway through the draft? Like why? Why is there a Hatterene,
Okay,
bro?
so I've actually used a little bit of SV Hatterene, and I've realized that it has just like too little of bulk for it to live any hits, for it not to get too cooked by any of the good mons.
And there's nothing
So,
abusing Trick Room on
yeah.
this team. Like I don't. I'm not a fan of Annihilate personally. I think it's a one-trick pony. And like I said, defensive Terra is not going to be as good.
Well,
I
they're gonna
know
have
what
to
Terra
go.
you're
They're gonna
running.
have to go bulky Annihilate every single week because all the rest of
Oh
their
yeah,
mons are frail.
yeah. Like I think it's a one-trick pony. I'm gonna know exactly if you're water or fucking fairy or whatever,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
mid.
taunt you, and it's not
So
gonna do
they
shit.
have like
So
one good cheese looking team and then a solid SV2, SV3.
see, the
So
SV1 team can definitely cheese out some wins, but it's also pretty bad at the same time.
yeah.
Let's move on to the next team. I think their drafts are
All right,
pretty
let's
terrible so
let's go
far
with
for the
what's
family.
done first. So we have Selly, Latios, Mega Houndoom.
This team is
Okay.
dog shit, dude.
What in the fuck am I
This
looking
team
at?
is dog
What am I
shit.
looking at? It's like Hazard Week is shit. Well, I guess
All
Clef
right,
kind of
bro.
helps. But you
Think
have
about this for a
Torkoal as your
second,
only
bro.
removal.
Hold your hand over Nido Queen and down, and you're like, yo, this team has
Yeah,
potential.
you're looking Selly, Clef, Latios? Shit,
And
dude,
you're
this
like,
team's gonna be
okay,
good.
okay, I fuck with this. And then you take your hand down, and you're like, what the fuck
And
happened?
you're like, okay, Nido Queen, a little bit of a questionable
No,
pick.
dude.
Slowbro right
That's
after that. It's
trash.
like, oh, okay.
Terrible.
You know, where are my
Mega
pivots?
Houndoom,
You're
bro.
looking at this and you're like, where are my pivots into Selly and Latios? I don't see a single one. I don't see a single pivot
There's
on the entire
nothing,
team.
dude. There's nothing.
What are they
This
gonna
team is
do? What are they gonna
awful.
do? Lead Clef, get up rock, sack it, go into their Latios, try to kill them on, sack that, go into their next mon. Like, come on, there's no pivots. That shit is so
Dude,
ass.
this team sucks, dude. This team fucking sucks. Victory Bell is cool. That's about it. This team's
Victory
terrible.
Bell is cool, dude. This
It
is.
is. I think Victory Bell's
I
not
think they
bad, but
saw the
like
4 point Houndoom and were
not
like,
worth it.
we're getting it, and I just don't think it's worth.
It's a trap mon, bro. It always looks good and it never does good.
So Gallade, Feeny, Exca. It's like a little bit of Mega Gallade sand going on with Zapdos. It's looking better than the
Uh
other team. I will say
oh
that.
yeah.
And it's looking
Yeah, for
better
sure.
than the Zera Necro above, but it's not
Yeah, I
looking
agree.
crazy.
But I don't I agree with you earlier. I don't like Gen 7 Feeny. I feel like it's really limited.
Yeah.
Um, no Draining Kiss. It can't really abuse those kind of sets as well. I don't hate this team though. I think it's a solid like
I mean,
6 out of
compared to the
10
other
team.
shit I've been looking at, it's decent, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's completely fair. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like me personally, I find drafting an Usum like really easy. Like if you're not building a, because it has the most mons and like the most
the
available
most
really good Pokemon.
depth out of
So
anything,
I feel like
yeah.
if you're not getting a good draft, like what are you doing? And yet again, this is another 5 mon team. Like we're getting these weird ass 5 mon teams, man. Like Quillfish and Tangela are good, but they ain't cutting it, bro. They
You're
ain't
never
cutting
gonna
it.
bring the Komala, yeah.
No, and you have a drill. I don't really understand why they even got Komala. There's no like
They were looking
Spectre in
at
this
a
gen,
Ghost.
so I
They were
don't.
looking at Gengar, and I don't know.
They have a
I don't.
fucking
Yeah, they have a
T-Tar,
T-Tar.
bro.
I don't get the
Whatever.
Komala pick at all, but okay.
Yeah, that's weird. That's just
Oras.
a two-pointer, but yeah,
Let's
I
move
don't
on to
like it.
Oras. Sizz, Lottie, Manaphy, Diggersby.
This is an interesting team.
It's
I
kind of cool.
I
I will say
don't hate
that.
it. I'm gonna be honest. I first glanced at this team earlier today, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But then I thought about it. I thought about it a little more, and for once, this team has a lot of pivots, which I love. I love momentum. I love getting in strong Pokemon. I mean, I think Diggersby's underrated. I'm gonna be honest. I like that pick because I think if I mean, Scizor into Diggersby is just a great combo. You U-turn on those steel types. You bring in the Diggersby. I can fuck with that, but I don't love the team. I just think it's usable. Like I think it's a solid team.
It's definitely a little above average. I say. Next, Lando, Grand Tran. This
I
is
fucking
weird.
hate this
This
team.
one's
I
weird.
fucking hate this team,
This
bro.
one's a little weird.
Um, Mega Gallade in Gen 6, not a fan. Not a fan. I mean, it just doesn't hit the same in Gen 6 just because there's a lot of like psychic types and fairy
Do
types
they
running
have no
around that
removal
just
on this team? Do they have only Sizz?
scissor.
And they
Scissor,
have
that's
one
it.
mon off the ground, so they're hella weak to spikes. This team's horrible.
Yeah,
This team's
seems
awful.
really bad. And I don't
And
understand the Sizz Heatran. Like if it's not Mega Sizz, I feel like you're not really complimenting each other too much.
they drafted
Because I
this
mean,
Miss Drevis being like, oh, maybe we can threaten with a spin blocker. No, dude. Nobody's gonna. They're still gonna bring rapid spin.
well, yeah, the spikes is Gren, which, it
Decent.
can be a really good spiker, but you really have to like specialize it to set up spikes if you want them to consistently
I
get
think
up.
this team is really bad. Really, really bad.
It's terrible.
All right,
All right, let's
next.
move on to their SV
Oh,
real
right, we
quick.
haven't done their SV yet, right? Okay, so
I think I'm just gonna breeze through these. Their first team is fucking terrible.
horrible.
Screamtail, Iron Treads, awful.
The second team's
Second
horrible.
team,
Both of them are
second team's
horrible.
awful. Iron Treads is a terrible Pokemon. 15
Third
points
team's
is not
awful
worth
too.
it.
Bro, why
The
all
third
three of
team,
their SV teams are fucking horrible?
the third team is complete dog shit. Corviknight's not a real
Dude,
Pokemon.
Corv, Espathra, Miascarada aren't gonna do any damage. Your only breaking
Yeah,
is the Shifu. And Garchomp,
yeah,
you have no special breakers on the team. This shit is
it's trash.
ass, dude. All three of them are
It's trash.
terrible. This team's gonna do
Yeah,
no damage at all. They
yeah.
have no
All right,
breakers.
next to Sword Shield.
Chomp,
First
Rotom,
team,
Cinderace,
don't
usable.
hate. I
Usable.
like this team. I
This is
like this team. A
usable.
lot of momentum. A lot of
Swish
momentum.
2,
Strong Pokemon. Good.
Zera, Kyurem. I don't fuck with this one. I
This
don't
is
fuck
dog
with
shit.
the other.
This is dog shit. 14-point Nidoqueen? What are we doing?
It's almost as bad as
14-point
14 point
Nidoqueen.
Crocodile. Like, come
And
on.
look, dude, they only have 4 points left for two Pokemon. That team sucks.
This is gonna be a
Moving on.
fucking 5 Monty. Because you have to bring
That
best
team is
burger.
dog shit, dude. That team is
Okay,
dog
so
shit.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. This is the worst Swish and the worst SV I've seen. Or
Oh
it's
yeah, that's worse than the family for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Overall, like
also
everything.
worse Usum too. Everything's just bad. The only thing that they have good is Oras. I'm looking at right.
Well,
Yeah. And
barely.
no, they have one horrible Oras team. These are terrible drafts.
Yep.
This is looking
All right, next team,
awful. Hisuian
Isu.
Offsuit. Alright, so we got Chomp, Sizz, Dundee.
I don't mind this team.
This is a little cool.
I
Cool
think
little
for
team.
Alligator is a really nice low tier pick. Um, Chomp Fund as the Z users is really good. Um, Quilladin, I love Quilladin. Think it's a good Pokemon. I like this team. I think it's pretty good. I'm impressed. I was very skeptical of this team's ability to draft. I like that team.
Okay, I'm
Solid.
looking at the second team. They got Coco Zardex, but no ground resist. They have Gligar and
Yeah.
Mesprit as their
So this
immunities,
is a
but yeah.
common archetype that I just don't like. I mean, me personally, like I'm not a Coco or Zardex fan, but I don't get this, bro. I mean, there's no Shadow Ball resist on the entire thing. Like the whole thing is smoked by Shadow Ball. It's not as big of a deal in Gen 7, but it could bite them. And I feel like this team is so mid, dude.
Is it just me or is
I
like a
f-
Z Torn fucking it up too? like,
oh,
like
100%. Like there's
you
there's
know,
so many things
there's no
fucking it
good
up.
scarfers besides. I mean,
No,
Kartana
because
Ditto's decent, but like
I
against
think
Torn,
Mesprit, Gligar, and Spiritomb are all just not that good of Pokemon. And Blastoise, I like all four of those Pokemon just aren't that good in Gen 7. So, I mean, if this was like a Gen 6 team, if they had like Cart and Coco different or whatever, it could work, but nah,
all
not
right.
that good.
Let's move on to Oras, Keld, Weavile, Mega Chomp. Looks usable.
This is an interesting team. It looks like something I'd draft back in the day, but not at the same time. Um,
So the
I
top
don't
two
like it.
problem is they
I
don't
don't.
really
I
have a
don't
good
like it.
top tier mon. So it looks like they got Keldeo, Weavile on the wheel and passed up on Mega Lopunny. Yeah, because this is pick two
The
Mega Lopunny up here.
Okay, the thing I
So
don't
yeah.
like about it is I don't like Mega Chomp here. I feel like you really want like a high tier Mega with this team. Um, I don't know. It just seems I don't. There's just something off about this team that I just don't like. I don't know if that's just me, but
It
I
looks
don't like it.
usable. Oras
Yeah,
2, Clef, Weave,
dog
Nido.
shit,
Ooh.
dog shit. This team is terrible.
Well, you need a
What are
spinner.
we doing, bro? Well, that's not the biggest deal. Like I think Charizard Y was a good
Well, they're
pickup.
gonna go
No
defog
problem with that.
Latias every fucking week.
Latias, I mean, we all know Latias is terrible.
Latias is only
I,
click and defog.
I want to
That's what I
mention
think it's
something.
doing.
They drafted Nidoqueen with Nidoking on the board. What are we doing?
Round
What
four
are we doing,
Empoleon?
bro?
Like,
I
is
don't
that
want to
even a
hear.
very popular Mon in Oras? Come
No,
on.
it's not at all. I don't want to hear the fucking, oh, they have different roles. Yeah, Nidoqueen's role is it fucking sucks. And Nidoking's role is that it's good as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I don't want to hear that shit, dude. I don't want to hear that shit.
yeah, I don't.
Fuck that,
All
bro.
right, I don't. I kind of like Oras one. Don't fuck with Oras two. Don't fuck with Usum two. Kind of fuck with Usum one. So we're 50-50.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, yeah.
Torn Tinglu, Volcarona, Iron Hands,
That
Fortress.
team's low-key fire except for Fortress.
The Volcarona is gonna be good with the Tinglu.
I like this team. Iron
It's
Hands
better
is
than what
really
I've
good.
seen. It's better than what I've
And
seen.
I love Torn T in Gen 9.
Yeah, I like it
Torn
too.
T Volcarona Terra users, that's going to be a little annoying because Torn really likes the Terra, like every single week. And so does Volcarona. So that's going to be a
Well,
little
the thing
interesting.
is, Volcarona absolutely needs the Terra every
So
single
does Torn,
week.
though, in my opinion. In my
Yeah,
opinion, it needs it. Just because of the loss of knockoff, it like really relies on it.
it's gonna be a little bit of
But I think
clashing.
that team's pretty good. I
I
think
fuck with the
Fortress was
Iron
a
Hands. I
terrible
think
pick.
Iron Hands is a drippy pick, a little dripster,
Oh
a
yeah,
little
I think
dripster.
I
I like
think
it.
Fortress is a dog shit pick. I feel it's not really a steel type. Like that's just a cope
I
steel
think I
type.
think they
Same
had
with the
no removal, so they wanted a fortress. I think that's what I'm looking at.
yeah, I guess that's fair. Next team is the same thing. Orthworm is not
Chiyu.
a steel type. That's a cope steel type. That thing sucks.
This team's just bad. Like Chiyu,
Why
Meowscarada. Where's your
am
physical breaker?
am I missing something, bro? Why
All the
is
Chiyu
Espathra
bad.
going so
I don't
early?
know if I'm missing something, but both of the Chiyu teams we've looked at is just they're just overdoing it on the offense. Whatever they have a
What are they
Chiyu.
doing?
They have a Chiyu
Bro,
already.
the ground resist is Earthworm and
What I don't get is why are you
why?
overdoing it on the offense when you have the hardest hitting mon in the format?
Yeah,
I
dude,
don't
just get pivots.
I don't get it.
Like Meowscarada is not a bad pick,
How
but
are you gonna
Espathra,
get
I
Chiyu
don't
in?
get it.
How are you getting
Yeah,
Chiyu in? You're
yeah.
not.
I
You're
would
not
have
getting it in.
really, I would have really liked a Slowking on this team or
Yeah.
Rotom Wash, something like that, bro, to
You're
get the
not. You're
Chi-Yu in.
dude. The Chiyu is just not gonna be a here. It's gonna be a late game Scarfer, and that's all it's gonna do every week. I mean,
Yeah, that team
it's
sucks.
yeah.
Sandy Shocks is a terrible round 4 pick.
And what are
Espathra is
you
a
tearing?
terrible
Like
round 3 pick.
Sandy Shocks is awful without Terra because it's walled by
Chi-Yu
like
Espathra
Lando and all
for
that shit.
sure. Chi-Yu
Yeah.
Espathra has to be.
I mean, not Terra Sandy Shocks, little sus, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best, but
You got Lando,
next team.
Azu, Cinderace.
This team is not bad.
I mean,
This team is
your
not bad.
removal is court change, but
That's true, but at
it's not
least this
finished.
team has potential. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
it's
got
looking good so
U-turn
far.
into Lando Eye. Like the archetype actually makes sense here.
Like this one, like two
Um,
looks non-recoverable. This one looks like it's got something. You could do something with
yeah.
this team.
If you use this same type of idea with two, because Chiyu and Lando are very similar. I mean, they both just click a move and kill things. So I feel like if you translated it just with different mons, it would have made sense. But the three is pretty good. I
I
like it.
fuck with one, don't fuck with two, kinda fuck with three. Sword and Shield one, you got Torn, Victini, Nitto, Copper, Raja, Shifu. It's mid. It's usable.
It's interesting.
Very mid. Speed
Uh,
tiers suck though. I don't know what you're gonna get for the speed.
big big ground week. Not bad though so
It's
far.
it's mid, but yeah. This one's horrible.
Switch to I don't really get this team. I think this was a Mount Rushmore team, right? This
I
archetype
have
looks
no
like a Mount
clue.
Rushmore team.
No clue.
Uh don't love it. I wouldn't say it's no, it is pretty bad. We'll
It's
move
just
on.
not my
We'll move on
style.
from
Like
that.
I'm not gonna get Tranrilla. No. All right,
Yeah.
let's
I mean,
move.
if you're gonna get Tran, you gotta get Rilla though, to be fair, I guess. So
I guess. Well, let's move on. Infernal
by the way, I
Armory
just want to mention that team had the best draft so far overall out of those other
overall.
ones.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'd say
yeah. Not even
overall. Yeah.
close in my opinion.
All right, so us and one, we got Gallade, Torn, Nitto, Hydra. Decent team, honestly, not bad. I'm looking at it,
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah,
Lando.
I quite like this
So
team.
this looks like
I think they
18,
Z'd Torn and Kofag, I'm pretty sure. Which I kinda like. Not Z'ing the Stack Attacka and Azumarill really fucking
they
sucks.
might just go
I think
Kofag
Z-
stack. I doubt it though, but like, should be
I think
funny.
Z Azumarill is amazing, and I think you're completely choking if you're not Z'ing that Pokemon. But it's still a solid team.
It's
I don't hate
picking
it.
your Z user is gonna be weird, but yeah.
No, they already did. I know it. It's Torn Kofag.
Torn Kofag. Oh,
hmm
okay. Awesome
which I
too.
don't agree with at all.
This looks like a team that I've seen.
Yeah. Not that good. I don't understand Nidoqueen. It's completely redundant on this team. Um,
It's very similar to whatever the fuck
you could have
Aster
just
was
swapped
using.
out Nidoqueen for a water type instead of getting Wishy-Washy. I don't get that.
Dude, this team is like pretty
Um,
much what Aster was using last season, but a little
yeah,
different,
but
right?
just worse.
No
Just
Vileplume,
worse.
right? I don't see a Vileplume.
This is
Uh,
just significantly worse than his team.
yeah.
So yeah, it can work. It can work for sure. But
Mew, Infernape,
I don't
Croak,
like it.
Serp, decent, usable.
Yeah, Mew Mega
I fuck with
Altaria
it.
is a staple in Gen
I
6.
fuck with it.
The
I fuck with
speed
this
is
team.
good. Yeah, I mean the pivots are pretty bad, but overall I like it.
I
I mean
like this team.
it's really like bulky offense kinda with the Crook, Serp, Altaria, Mew. I like it.
I like this team. Torn,
hmm
Rotom, Donphan. I don't like this one.
This team sucks.
The bottom two are
Um,
horrible. You're never bringing them.
Poor ass Torn is not that
Dude,
good
this
in
one's
my
just bad.
opinion.
Everything about it's bad. Round three
I don't
Donphan.
understand the Don fan pick. You don't have a Rock Weakmon.
You
Like
have a
Torn,
fucking diamond ORAS one and a fucking rock ORAS two. Like this is just
like
this
I
is
don't get
horrible.
the Don fan pick. You're not weak to rocks. Like Torn is barely weak to rocks. It regens it off. Like uh, you could have got a better
Dude, I'm
Pokemon
not
there
gonna
and
lie.
waited on
Every
removal.
week they're gonna be picking Usum as their extra tier, and the other fuckers are picking ORAS. It's just gonna be
Yeah,
an old gen showdown every single week for
yeah,
these guys. I feel like that's gonna
yeah. I
be
don't like that
fucking
team.
AIDS. All right, so let's move on to their SV. Tusk, Iron Moth, Meowscarada, EnamT, King Gambit, middle of the pack. I'd say.
I don't
Low.
understand the ENMT, but the rest
It's
I
a
like.
big bulky offense team looking like.
I kind of like the team. I think it's gonna be Terra, Moth, and Gambit. That's pretty good. Um, I don't like the Enamorous pick. I don't like
It's
that
all
Pokemon.
right.
I don't think it's that good. I'd give
Bax.
it like a 5 out of 10 draft.
Yeah, Bax, Volk, Slowking, Lycan, Tinglu.
This is good.
Decent so far.
I don't like the Lycanroc pick. Other than that, I think it's really good. I have back Slowking and LD, great core.
With the Volcarona, it's
You
gonna be
can
pretty
you
demon.
can set up with the Snow Boost and then click the Terra Dragon, which
Bax
is
plus
insane.
Volcarona with both having access to Terra is going to be a nightmare to prepare for. So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
don't like the fastest mon being Lycanroc and they only have 15 points left. But other than that, it's pretty good.
SV3, we got Chiyu, Rotom, Lando. This is bad.
The first
I don't
three
get what
are
the thing is.
so
I don't know
good.
what the thing
What are
is
we
with
doing?
everybody fucking up the Chiyu teams, bro. I don't. Maybe it's
Dude,
a
the
Chiyu thing.
first three are so fucking
Like
good.
you're gonna
What
get
are
up
we
screens with
doing?
your Klefki. Like maybe you can get up screens with your Klefki and go into an Espathra, but no, you're getting your screens up and you're going into a Screamtail. Like what? What am I looking at?
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
No removal so
That team
far. Bad so
team
far.
sucks.
I think it's
Team sucks.
recoverable, but bad so far.
Nah, Screamtail made it
A
irrecoverable.
little crazy. Coco, Kyurem, Lycan, Rock Dusk, Celesteela, Swampert.
Looks like a normal ass team. I don't like
Nothing
the Lycanroc
special.
pick.
I
It's
don't
probably gonna be Z
I
Lycanroc
don't
for
fuck
like
with
the
the
special
Selly
move.
pick because you need like a physical breaker
Oh,
alongside
oh yeah, what
Kyurem
am I
and
talking
Lycanroc.
about? Yeah.
Lycanroc is
Oh
not
wait,
gonna
I
cut
just said
it.
Z. This is Sword and Shield, bro.
Yeah,
What am I on?
yeah. This is
This looked
it's
like
like
a
middle of the
fucking
pack.
Sun and Moon team. I don't know why. I don't
It's a
like this
middle of
team.
the pack team. Garchomp, Sizz, Slowbro, Diancie, Crobat, looking good so far, right? I mean, looking middle of the
Yeah,
pack so far. It's
that,
decent.
that's pretty
I mean,
good.
it's
I
pretty
don't
hard
really
to fuck it up
understand.
from here.
Like it has no breakers, but it has like hella prior or
You're gonna have to
pivoting.
pick some luxury shit up down here. I don't know what they're gonna get, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get something.
Chomp is the only strong Pokemon on the whole team.
Yeah.
I don't really get that. So.
Uh,
Now we'll go very lightly into our team. I don't want to give away our secrets.
yeah. So,
Uh,
I
our
mean, do
Sun
you
and Moon
even want to
team
remove them at
really
all?
fucking good. I'm not gonna review it. I'm just gonna say what
Okay.
I think. Sun and Moon team one is fire. Sun and Moon team two is fire. Both the ORS teams are way better
Dude,
than
I think
everyone
we have the
else's.
best old gen that out of anybody. Both of our teams are crazy good, like in both of these. You know,
I think overall our teams are just significantly better than
and
everyone
like Sword
else's.
and Shield also looking solid in both so far. You know what I mean? Compared to what
And
we've
SV.
fucking seen. And
And
SV, you know,
SV.
you got
That's how you
Shifu,
know we're
Goldengo,
nice like
Enam.
that.
You got Iron
All right,
Bundle.
well,
I mean,
all right, we'll
I'm not.
stop
Yeah,
now.
we'll
But you
stop.
see
We'll
it. You
stop.
guys see it. You
Y'all
guys see
see
this
it. Y'all
shit.
see it, bro.
Yeah, y'all see that shit, boy.
We're packing
All
that
right,
heat
next.
this season. All right. Next, we
Next,
got the
Tusks.
Great Tusks, Lando, Gran, Rotom,
I didn't know
DOD.
that DOD was even in this
Well, it's a
shit. I'm not even
six-mon
gonna lie to you.
team. 2 Point Gloom is weird as
Yeah, but the
fuck.
6 Mons suck dick. What are we doing? This team is terrible, dude.
I don't even know what Deoxys Defense does. It doesn't have teleport in Gen
Nothing.
7. Like I know
It
Gen
sits
8.
there and
I
gets
know
set
Gen
up on.
8.
That's what
Gen
it does.
8 what it does is it comes in and it clicks like spikes and teleport. This it can't, do that. It's only
No,
going to
you
get
have
the
to run
spikes.
max speed so it doesn't get set up on, and then it's not that bulky. So it just sucks. It
I think
just
it's just
sucks
worse
overall.
Uxie. Awesome 2, you got
True.
Torn, Diancie, Hydrosis, Azelf, Toad,
Okay, the end of
mid.
this draft
It was
was
looking good.
completely ruined it.
Top 4
Yeah,
good.
completely. The top five I like, and then what are we doing?
Well,
Toad,
what I
Vanilla,
miss what
Torterra?
I'm missing out of this team is the physical breaker. Like if you take Azelf Toad off and get
Yeah.
like an Azu or some shit, I feel like it would be better.
Mm,
But
Yeah. You don't really need the Azelf on this team. I agree.
yeah, and they're also
Because the
yeah.
team's fast. The team's fast. You don't need the Azelf. So
Alright, Torn, Rotom, Donphan, Roserade. This is looking pretty standard. It's decent though,
yeah,
right?
this is okay. The only removal being Donphan for Megazord X is a little
I think this
concerning.
is definitely a usable team though. But yeah,
Yeah,
only spin. So if you run up against a spin blocker, oh,
yeah, you have two Rock Weak mod. I mean, technically three with Murkrow, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this team.
it's okay.
It's not bad. I wouldn't call it bad, but I don't like it.
Garchomp, Nape, Zapdos, Serp,
This is
Megadite.
cool.
This
This
is
is a cool. This
decent.
is a cool team right here. I like this team. Um,
These bottom
yeah,
two are going to
honestly,
be
I,
hard to
I just
fit, but it's
I
decent.
just like it. I think it's a good team. I like that.
Alright, let's move on to SB. Bax, G-King, Annihilate, Noivern, Shocks.
Damn,
Decent.
that is a stacked top three. That is crazy.
This is looking decent,
Um,
right? You have your chilly reception into the Bax caliber.
but I feel like the Noivern and Shocks are so weird. Like, I
I think what they
feel
were.
like Shocks is just not worth it for 11 points, dude. I'm
I
just gonna
think
be
this is
honest. I don't.
definitely can come out to be a good team, though.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
but the top three are really good, but they're also really slow.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really like
Yeah, they
that
got
team all that
Shocks for
much,
the
to be
speed
honest.
tier. Yeah. Alright, so Tusk, Grand Moth. I don't like this
I think
one.
this team is probably better in my opinion.
Really?
This team's got some speed, which I feel
Yeah, but
like
like I don't
I feel
fuck
like
with
SV
Mence.
is so fucking offensive. Like Mence is a trash pick, I'll admit that, but the rest
Yeah.
of it I like. Yeah,
Top three was good, but Mence just
the top three solid for
such
sure.
a
I don't
gross
get the
mon.
Mence.
Such a
Yeah, I
gross
don't
mon.
get that.
Alright, Bundle Tread. This one's bad. It's another Terra
Yeah,
Skeledirge. I mean, people are gonna
yeah.
realize they're
I'm
gonna
kind of
drop. All of them are gonna be dropped at mids because people are gonna
and
be like,
it's
"Oh,
not
this is
gonna be
fucking useless."
it's gonna be Terra Thundi too, so it's not gonna be Terra Bundle.
You don't have a broken Terras.
Uh,
Your Terras are
yeah.
mid.
I still think Tread sucks. I know this might be a hot take, but like I get that it's a steel type, but it's just not a good
It's just a
Pokemon.
fast
Like
offensive Steelix, pretty
I
much.
don't think it's I
It's
don't
a
think it's
little
good, bro. It's
expensive.
so expensive, bro. 15 is crazy.
Yeah. All right.
I don't like the
Let's move on to Sword and Shield. Latios, Clef, Melmetal, Volcarona. Looking like a little bit of a cheese team, but it looks usable.
This is
I don't know. I
interesting.
don't know what your
I
water's
feel like
gonna
I've
be.
seen this before.
What's your
I feel like
water
I've seen
type?
this
What's
before.
your water type gonna be on this team?
Maybe it's gonna be fucking wishy-washy or some
Dude, you're
shit,
getting
dude.
cooked by like a Cinderace. Like I've never seen a team get so cooked by a Cinderace before. And I've
Any
seen a
fire type,
Cinderace.
to
I've
be
seen a
honest.
Cinderace be
Uh,
drafted too.
I mean, Victini's cooking this team. Like any fire
I
type's
think they
cooking
have to
this
go
team, bro.
wishy-washy, which is
Another thing is like Spectre. I mean, they have a Spectre, so it's not that bad. But
yeah, but there is another one. But yeah,
that team's weird. That team's weird.
I
I'm,
don't
I'm not
fuck
gonna
with
say it's
it. I don't fuck
trash,
with it
but
too
I'm not
hard.
gonna say it's good either.
Vic, D Knight, Spec, Gmolt, Feeny, Stunfisk. Nah,
Uh,
it's
five mon
another
team
cheese
again.
team. They're just doing double cheese.
Another 5 mon team.
It's another double cheese
Uh,
looking shit. This looks like a
I
TDG
don't
team.
I don't get the Molt G pick all
So
that
what they're gonna
much.
end up doing in this team is going no steel type, and it's gonna look like a TDG draft. But I mean, I don't really like it. I don't really like those kind of teams.
I don't like that
They're
team
gonna
either.
have no
I feel
steel
like you I feel
type.
like you could have taken off Molt G and got some more value out of that pick. I don't feel
Yeah.
like it's really adding anything to the team. Like you have so much setup, you don't need Molt G at all. So
All right. So I think these teams were pretty bad. Yeah, these have been
All of
really
all of the
bad.
drafts suck, other than our team, to be honest with you.
This one was good, or S2 was good. You know, their SV is looking okay. Sword and Shield's
Yeah.
pretty It's looking okay, I
This is
guess.
not as bad as a lot of the other teams. I'd say this
Usum's
is probably
looking
the
bad
third.
though. I'm not gonna lie,
I'd
Usum's
say
not
this
look
is
great.
probably the second or third best drafts, other than us.
Yeah. Cake takers, you got Coco Cart, Medi. Looking Rotom Heat's weird, but looking usable for sure.
Yeah, I don't understand the Rotom Heat at all. I think it's a fucking terrible pick. I
I
feel like
think
that kind of ruined it for me.
I
Like,
don't
I feel like it's a
understand it.
five-mon team now
I don't understand.
because,
Like maybe they're worried about the Sizz matchup, but they got a Quillfish. I don't understand the Rotom, but yeah.
yeah, I don't get it either. Um, it's not bad though. I mean, you got like Coco and Demeti, which is obviously like a really good core. I think it's an okay team. I don't love it
Yeah,
though.
we got Celluladios, Arrow, Incineroar,
Uh,
another mid, like weird. I don't.
this is a weird one. Yeah, Rotom round 4. What?
All right, let's start speeding through. I really do need to take a fucking piss. Lando,
Okay,
great. Zap, Latias, pretty bad. Latias,
terrible.
Porygon Z,
Latias is not a
Regisaur.
real
It's
Pokemon.
not looking good at all. Sizz, Latios, Klefki, Uxie, Volcanion, Swellow. Another horrible team. What the fuck am I looking at?
That team sucks, dude. That team sucks.
SV1, you got Shifu, Rotom, Skeledirge. Skeledirge was a throw. Looking okay.
Terrible, dude. What is this team?
I mean,
What
Skeledirge was
is this
such a
team?
throw, but yeah. Garchomp,
That team sucks.
Analape, King Gambit. Dude, this one's looking bad too, I'm not gonna lie.
Screamtail?
Yeah.
What are we doing with the
We're doubling
Screamtail,
up on the
bro?
darks and getting a fucking Scream Tail. Um,
Wait. They have two King Gambit Samurott H. What the fuck?
they don't seem to like that, I guess. I don't, this
That's the
third one,
God
I
Core,
fuck
I
with this
guess.
third
Dude,
one though. I do
what
fuck with
the
this third team.
fuck?
Great Tusk, Bulk. Doubling up on the fightings is
You fuck
weird.
with this?
Doubling up on the fightings is weird, but I do like the Tusk
Dude,
Bulk.
dude, this is terrible. I'm Terra rocking my Enamorus and I'm one-shotting every single Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah, you could do that. It's yeah. Okay. This one's I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at. This is probably the worst Sword and Shield draft I've seen so far. Defeating
Yeah, this is.
Necro, D-Knight, Zera. Oh my
Oh yeah, we were talking
god.
about
D
this one.
Halego. This is
This team
easily the worst
sucks.
one I've seen.
Yeah, it's up there.
Coco Cart,
Uh,
Blastoise. They wanted a Necrozma here, but they
that's
got a
pretty good.
Uxie.
That's pretty good though.
Still
That's
usable.
pretty good.
It's hard to fuck
Yeah.
up a Coco team because you just get a bunch of setup fuckers.
You got a lot of momentum into Nidoking and Cart. That's solid.
Yeah. Alright.
Teams overall suck. Next team.
Yeah, horrible, 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 horrible.
Now
Terrible.
this team is a fucking wild card right here, man.
Usable. Alright.
Hitori, Naklis. God.
AG, Nape, Bulu, Sceptile, kind of sauce. This is a little
Dog
sauce.
shit.
I mean, it's
Dog
not gonna
shit.
be good,
What
but it's
is this?
sauce, bro. It has that sauce.
It's not
to
sauce, bro. It's not sauce. This is dog shit. Move on.
it. Garchomp, Nape, Mew, Serp, Granbull, Mega Beedrill, Steelix.
I kind of fuck with this. I'm not
I,
gonna
I,
lie.
I honestly don't. I kind of fuck with both of them, but it's not
Nah,
the worst.
not
I've
the
seen
first
worse, bro. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse.
That second one is good
Like
though.
coming from
You can use
Holu, I
that.
was expecting something worse than this, but
Yeah, it's not
next
the
you
worst
got
I've seen.
Guard, Thundy, Heatran, Skarm, Terrakion,
Dog shit.
Plume.
Dog shit. Dog shit. Dog shit. Dog
It
shit.
looks like it's solo removal Skarm.
Dog shit.
Yeah,
What is
Skarm's
this
just a
team,
bad
dude?
one.
What is
What
this
you know what I'm
team?
doing? I'm
Every
rocking a
single
Mega
Pokemon
Sis.
special, except for fucking Terrakion.
You know what I'm
And you
doing
gotta hit
versus
Stone
this team?
Edges.
I'm getting the spikes up, going into my Mega Sis, clicking SD, and breaking through the Skarmory and winning. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't like this team at all. Dog shit.
Or S2, Mew, Starmie, Zard,
This is the
Brava.
most Halu team I've ever
What the
seen in my
fuck?
life, dude.
What the fuck am I looking at?
This is the most Halu team I've ever seen in my life. He loves this shit, dude.
Yeah, alright, let's just
Not good though.
Goldengo, Lando, Cinderace. This one's looking terrible. Horrible,
What is
actually.
this?
This is looking
What
so
is
bad.
this?
This is one of the worst
What's the
SV ones.
Wocheen and Quagsire doing?
I think I'd honestly rather have a Skeledirge in in the place of the fucking Cinderace. But
This team's terrible. Next.
Shifu, G King, Enam, Bron. Oh, dude, what the fuck are they doing? They have no
I
clue
don't
how to.
get the top three is good, bottom two terrible.
Horrible. Torn. This one's good. This one's looking fire.
Yeah,
But like,
I like this
you're
team.
not gonna be able to tear the quav though. That sucks. But yeah.
I like it though, not bad.
And these two are probably the worst Sword and Shield drafts in the
Yeah.
entire tour. Probably the two
What was he
worst.
cooking? What was he cooking?
Dude, who let him in the kitchen, bro? Who let Halu
Who
in the
let
Sword and
Halu in
Shield
the
kitchen?
kitchen?
Dude,
Bro, all four of the
you've never
we go
seen
wait,
Mans play Sword and Shield.
All four of the Halus got in like a little meeting and they're all like going back and forth with each other. They're like, bro, we should get Mew, Zapdos, G, and Comfy. And all four of the Halus are like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do that. And they just get it on both drafts. What
They're over
was
there
he
plotting and
cooking?
scheming.
Literally a
They
schizophrenic
think they
Halu
think they
talking to
think
himself.
they know the anti meta. They think this is Mew G King Comfy's anti meta. What the fuck? Dude,
What was
I don't
bro
I've
cooking?
you've never seen Halu play Sword and Shield for a fucking reason. Like what am I looking at right now?
Dude,
I don't dude,
that's
I don't
abysmal.
know about you, but we're picking Sword and Shield as our extra tier against these foes.
Yeah, dude, probably.
Like, come on. Alright, well that'll conclude it. Do we want to re-rank or are we just good on
Yeah, we'll
that?
do it real
We'll
quick,
do a
real quick.
re-rank. Alright, so after looking at the teams,
I'm staying the
obviously
same. I'm gonna be
worst.
honest
I'm
with
gonna
you.
put
I'm
mine
staying the
still at
same.
first. What? Oh, dude, the Cake Takers teams were ass. Like they're
None of
still
this
staying
swayed me
bottom.
at all. Like I'm feeling the
Cake
same
Takers are
as
still
I
in
did.
last. Hitori
Just
Minaki's.
do playoffs. Just do playoffs. Just do playoffs.
Okay, yeah. Let's just see. Who are we gonna? After seeing the rosters, who are we
All
thinking
right,
is
it's
making
gonna, in my
playoffs?
opinion, it's me or not me. Our team, family, uh, Tusks, and
Not L2P. Did you see how horrible their drafts were?
yeah,
They had the worst drafts.
And Hisu. Those four right there.
I'm gonna go us. I need to relook at the Infernal Armories teams.
Us teams were solid, bro. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I'm gonna go
Surprised me.
Infernal Armory us.
What? Okay, let them cook.
Infernal Armory us. Family, and probably Hisu still. Yeah.
Dude, Tusk teams were good. That was our concern. Okay, whatever. That's
Tusk's
fine.
team, dude. Did you not see the DOD and this? Their Usum was horrible.
Yeah, but their teams are overall better than like a lot of these
The
teams.
Sword and Shield. I mean, yeah. I guess yeah. Maybe we'll take take Infernal Armory off for the
Yeah, we'll
Tusk.
go with a coin flip on that one, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll conclude our long ass video of us just talking about DPL, talking about rosters, talking about teams.
I assume people will just skip to the teams they want to see, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, blah blah blah. We'll catch y'all later.